Hey everyone, it's me, Nomi, and this is my friend Jill.
Hi.
She's been sleeping over for the past couple of days, visiting from Boston, and so I thought that this would be a great opportunity to rope her into one of my schemes. Do you want to help me clean out my closet?
Sure! Nomi and I have known each other for years. I think we're on year 5 of our friendship. And the basis of our friendship was honestly clothes, particularly Lita boots. We would go out shopping together and thrifting particularly, and she would like really push me, and then I guess I gave great feedback and such, and it was like a good time.
A lot of my all-time favorite pieces were picked up when I went shopping with you. I feel like Jill just really understands my style and also understands what looks good on me. So yeah, we did that last night, and so tonight we're gonna show you and share the results of this, our anti-haul.
Anti-haul. I love that name.
Okay, Jill, do you remember being there when I picked this up?
Yes, it was the same day you got the sunflower top, and there was that guy who was like, "You look great," and so you were like, "Okay," and then you bought both.
This is how bad purchasing decisions get made when strangers come up to you and tell you you look great, and so you're like, "Oh, you don't owe me anything, so I guess I must look great. Thanks." This piece was definitely purchased around the time that the high-low skirt thing was.
I was totally into that.
Honestly, I think I've started to like fall out of that fashion trend myself. So yeah, I think this is easy to say that I can let this one go. This is one of my all-time favorite pieces in my closet, actually, because I find it to be so versatile. I feel like it's very casual, but then it also is a perfect office wear. Definitely picked this up during my pastel and floral lace phase, as you can see in the details on the sleeves over here.
I actually felt like the lace was starting to look a little worn, and then also the color was starting to look a little faded, and also she had just picked up, in my opinion, a very cute pink blazer, which I guess she taught me that it's not actually a blazer, it's a moto jacket, but still something that would have been appropriate to wear to work that would replace it, and she didn't really need two, and especially since the new one looked so nice and the old one didn't, and she already had so many like blazers and jackets and over things that she could wear to work that I encouraged her to get rid of it.
I'm really sad to part with this, but I think Joel's totally right. This is starting to look a little worn.
I told her to throw a Viking funeral for it.
I didn't know what that was. I really love the print on this one.
It is very nice.
Yeah, I think there's something about like the floral pattern, but then it's a darker twist on it.
It's very muted.
Yeah, exactly. And I really like that slight hint of gothic.
Wasn't the most flattering dress.
I think I always knew it didn't fit me right, but like I couldn't explain why. I just love the print too much, so, and the material too. So yeah, I couldn't understand why it didn't look good on me. But then
we determined it was because it hit her like at a very awkward place, like maybe an inch above her hips. So it wasn't like at the hip, but it wasn't like at the waist, which is what this dress is designed for. So it just has like a tube effect.
Yeah, Jill actually tried it on after because she was like, wait, hold up. I think this might fit my body better. And I think just like the length.
I think it actually hit closer to my true waist than like it hit your waist, and that probably is what helped.
Yeah, it actually looked really good on her, and she almost considered taking it, but then we had gone thrifting like the day before, and I actually convinced her to get a dress with a very similar print, because obviously I love that
and
print.
she had tried on that dress and determined it hadn't fit her, and then told me to try it on.
There's a pattern here.
Literally a floral pattern.
Here's yet another floral piece. I also really like the print of this because I don't know why, but it reminds me of like a classical painting.
Oh, you know, I totally agree. It looks like Monet.
Honestly, I always wore this with like a black v-neck tee or a black tank. It was just the right amount of loudness against a blank canvas. But the problem was that it never fitted right. It was always just slightly too tight. I didn't feel comfortable in them at all.
Yep, I've had those pair of shorts, yep.
So even though I love them, and I think they still look great with everything black, but those shorts, I don't think it makes any sense for me to keep these.
No, your closet shouldn't bring you pain. It should bring you joy. It should not bring you pain.
Oh boy, this one. So the tag's still on it.
That was the first thing I noticed. That when the tag is still on an item, and she had told me it had been in her closet in 3 years, but in my head, that's a huge red flag, because you have had so much time to make that item work, and the fact that you didn't even just go as far to take the tag off, knowing you didn't even wear it once. Sometimes I'm that person who, like, wears it with the tag on, because I'm afraid of that commitment, but that told me that you had honestly never had worn it.
Let me tell you why I bought it though. So It was like the last semester of college for me, and I was doing this student teaching semester. I had not enough office wear in my closet. So very frantically, my mom took me out and we just went to a couple different shops. Yeah, I was just in general not very inspired by office wear. It was just not something I had ever dressed in and had no interest in dressing in, because I had this misconception that office wear was always just boring. Honestly, this was like the dullest shopping trip I'd ever gone on. My mom and I went, and I was just like, nothing here inspires me, but I need stuff. So my mom was like, here, look, this stuff is on sale, and I was just like, okay, I'm tired. We've been looking for hours, fine, whatever. So I just picked up a whole bunch of things that I ended up throwing out in this round, actually.
Oh, wow.
This is actually something that my mom picked up for me, and for once it wasn't terrible, because my mom's gauge of my fashion can be completely off sometimes. But I really like this circular detail, like cutout at the back. I think it's like a nice subtle touch, and then I can wear this to the office if I throw a jacket on top of it.
Okay, so what I had noticed, though, is that she had just described a series of dresses to me that I could tell she was passionate about them. This one, she wasn't talking about it with the same amount of passion, and so I actually challenged her. I was like, hey, you don't have to throw out anything, but of these 4 dresses you just talked about, which one do you think you would get rid of? Because I also just wanted to see if I was, like, right in what I was picking up. And I would get rid of this dress. And then by the end of our 2-hour, like pairing close down session, she was ready to get rid of it.
I've been reading KonMari's The Life-Changing Magic of Cleaning Up, and I think one of my favorite quotes from her book is that regarding gifts, you don't have to hoard gifts. The point of a gift is to be received, and once you've received it, it's fulfilled its role. So whether you want to keep it after that, whether it adds value to your life beyond the act of receiving it, that's for you to decide, and you shouldn't feel guilty if you have to get rid of it.
I need to read that book.
Yes, you should. I really like this shirt because I don't really have anything that's olive green in my closet, and then on top of that, it's a very nice, like, business casual vest, I would say, and I like how when I wear it, I feel super mature.
So honestly, I was on team keep this one, but I noticed she had a lot of shirts that were kind of like this, like button down, loose fabric, can be worn over things, under things, tucked into things. If you like really want to go for the capsule wardrobe, or just really want to pare down your closet, it's really good to target the redundancies, because it actually like reduces the amount of choices you have to make in the morning. Every piece of clothing is fulfilling a purpose. Okay, so that was one reason, but I don't think that's totally a reason to nix something. But the other reason was that there was parts about the shirt that it just felt like she was trying to make it work. Like, it honestly felt like it was like a size too large. She felt like she couldn't wear it to the office, because if she like bent over, it just kind of like had an awkward, angle when you look down it. So she was telling me like, I feel like I have to buy a special bra for this or pin this up. And honestly, I firmly believe that you should have something that like you don't feel like you have to like jump through hoops through to like make it work. I do believe in having challenging pieces in your wardrobe, but they should be like creatively challenging, not like, if I have to pin things up this way and then wear this certain thing underneath it, then it's okay.
So Jill's arguments were very strong, and I kind of hesitantly let them go, but I think that was ultimately the right decision. I think you could do this for a living.
What? Minimalize people's closets?
Yeah.
How would I even do that?
How much of my closet would you say that you helped me, like, get rid of?
I don't know, I feel like on your own, you would have gotten rid of maybe a third to half of that pile.
Okay.
Because, like, I do think you were saying no to a lot of things on your own, but I think there was also, like, a pretty large maybe pile that I think, out of the maybe pile, I managed to convince you to part with about 75% of it.
Yeah.
But it's very flattering you say I should consider this as a career. It'd be cool, but it's like, how would I tell people, oh yeah, I can minimize your closet. My closet's 20 pieces of clothing. like, I guess I could do that, but it's like, I don't know who would pay me. Anyway.
Yeah, I just had so much emotional attachment to certain pieces, or guilt attached to certain pieces. There was, like, you know, just mistake purchases. I'm just like, wow, I was so dumb. Or like falling for fast fashion fads. And so, yeah.
Yeah. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think you will still have guilt purchases in your future, but it's just important to recognize it. But yeah, like, so you're kind of talking about your feelings regarding this. Was there some stuff that was, like, particularly hard?
I don't think I got rid of that many jackets, but you did make me get rid of a few.
Because you kept being like, oh, Jill, I feel like your definition of a jacket is way different from mine.
I have like a million subcategories for jackets. I'm like, she was like, wow, you have so many blazers. I was like, I only have 3 blazers. What are you talking about? And she was like grouping in my moto jacket, one of my newer moto jackets, as a blazer. Granted, it's like a fabric-y moto jacket, and then I have like denim moto jackets, but then there are also denim jackets, and then I have like more hoodie, and then I have athletic, like athletic jackets. I have like, anyways, yeah, I have a lot of subcategories.
Yeah, which is very interesting.
And so when I'm looking at all the jackets I'd collected over time, I'm just like, I can't let any of this go. I've selected them out for different reasons. They all have different colors, patterns, textures, and they're all special to me, but we still managed to get rid of like,
I think 2. I mean, after hearing you say all that, like, I'm not like, oh, maybe as part of your capsule wardrobe, you should embrace the idea you're going to have more jackets than the average person, but you might have less tops or less, like, pants. Like, you don't seem to really care about pants, and now you seem to care less about shorts, and we managed to get rid of, like, 5 out of your 7 skirts? Of course, this is all up to you, and you're nowhere in your life are you being graded on your capsule wardrobe. Or if, you know, you want one, you can always change your mind. But, like, maybe you should consider, like, maybe I only really need a couple of different, like 2 pairs of pants and 2 pairs of shorts or something. And then the jackets are the things you accessorize and, like, splurge on. Like, I feel like it's one of my worst things where I just jump in with my opinion immediately, but it's always important to listen to other people's opinion. Because, like, especially in this case where it's like, I need to hear her opinion before I state my opinion and, like, put my impressions over things.
that makes sense.
So, especially since we're talking about such like a weird, volatile, unsure category as should I keep this clothing item, it's like, I need to be listening to you. Like, I have to be listening to you.
Did you notice a pattern in the things that I was throwing away?
Ooh, actually, I think I did. Hang on. So, I just felt like when I was trying to convince you to get rid of something, right? Especially like, for example, that green vest or the New York & Company item that you still had the tag on, or, like, you're really good at being creative with your clothes, but I can tell you have clothes where you're like, they make you creative, right? And you enjoy having like this little challenge in your closet, like the sunflower top. But then there's other clothes that I felt like you were just trying to make it work. Like, it wasn't really, it was a challenge to get to pair it with something, but the challenge was more in terms of like how it fit you and how it like it felt like you were just trying to create ways to justify keeping this clothing item.
When you have so much stuff, it's really easy to lose items into that void, I guess you could say. And consequently, I felt like it made it hard for me to give certain pieces an opportunity to be worn. And so that's why I would defend them so hard. But on the other hand, if I loved them, they wouldn't have gotten lost in the noise in the first place, right? So I think that was where a lot of the struggle came in.
There was clothing that was definitely you hadn't given a chance, but there was other clothing where you just hadn't given the chance because it really didn't deserve the chance. And like, it's almost as if you kind of hearing like clothing FOMO. I wonder if you could, like, it's an interesting thought. I was wondering if, like, tip for minimizing your closet, if you feel like it's FOMO, clothing FOMO, get rid of it. I feel like that was, like, the biggest trend I was seeing, like, with stuff that you were having the most difficulty getting rid of.
Yeah.
Because you're so good at making things work, you know, and so you just desperately want to make this piece work. Because, like, you're very, like, frugal, and you're very, like, resourceful, and it's like, I can do this.
We also noted that there was a lot of floral prints and pastels that I was throwing out. Yeah, I guess I didn't realize it during the time that I was going through this phase, but I had a floral pastel lace phase.
Yeah, like, it's really interesting. Yeah. It's like, I feel like when you even look at the piles of clothes you're keeping versus the piles of clothes you're giving away, there is a notable difference in just the overall color palette.
So what would you describe my style to have transitioned into more of?
I would describe your style to be more sharp, a little bit more purposely edgy, I would say, in terms of you are liking more bold patterns, bold prints, you're going more grays, tones to blacks, versus I think you were more lights to whites before. A lot of grays and blacks with just really bright pops of colors that you're still keeping in.
Yeah, I would say that accurately describes how I would love to be remembered when I make an impression on someone for the first time.
I kind of wonder if it's like the fact that you kind of have to start gearing your wardrobe more for the office now.
Something that I found really interesting about this process was that you, in the middle of the entire process, Jill started talking about how it sounded as if I was trying to create 3 different capsule wardrobes.
Oh, yeah.
A workout wardrobe, since I somewhat recently in life became very obsessed with like fitness and health. A work wardrobe, because I now am like a full-time professional, and then also my just like everyday everything else wardrobe. The result of that was, after we parsed everything down, it was like an okay size. Like, it could be improved, but it wasn't terrible.
I would say it was pretty balanced. I felt like you honestly had an even third split of everything, which honestly kind of probably represents your life a little bit.
Now, yeah.
You know? Yeah, and actually it was kind of funny. I remember at one point in the process, I was at the end where I was like, because we went through every single piece of your clothing more or less, and I was like, especially, so what we did was I was like, first I want you to just sort yes, no, maybe, like you personally know what you know. And she did that, and then I'd be like, okay, now we're gonna work for the maybe pile, and I want you to give me an argument for why you should keep this. And I was like, I could just sometimes tell by the tone of your voice that you really shouldn't be keeping it. By the end of it, I had heard a justification for at least 70% of her closet, which I felt like helped me understand the majority of like what she was going for. I was like, I feel like I could ask you to leave the room, and I could actually I could like pull the last bit of everything down for you, like really make you some hard recommendations of like what you should really be getting rid of. But we didn't do that because it's been a journey enough.
Yeah, before I elicited Jill's help, I have already within the past like two months or so done 2 separate clothes swap events where I myself just went through my closet, and as if it's a no, like an immediate no, I just like piled them up and then got a bunch of friends to go through their closets, and then we got together and just like swapped clothings that we didn't want and then donated the rest. And those 2 events I would have guesstimated to have gotten rid of like 60% of my original closet, and then I think Jill helped me to get rid of another like 10-15%.
Yeah, something like that.
The year after I graduated, during my gap year, I traveled a lot, and the more I traveled, the less I cared about material goods, because I've started to value experiences. When I travel, I'm typically choosing not as great clothing pieces to bring with me in case they get scratched up or something, or damaged on the trip. And especially when I'm traveling solo, I don't want to dress nice because I don't want to get attacked as a woman. So it's sad that this is a concern, but you know,
yeah,
it is what it is. Since then, it kind of piqued my interest in minimalism in general, and then a lot of my friends are going minimal, and Also, like, I just started reading books and blogs and watching other YouTubers who describe how their life has been elevated by simplifying. And, you know, I have enough stressors in my life. I don't need stuff to be bogging me down.
I had some further recommendations of things she wasn't ready to let go yet, but we should definitely think about over the next couple of months. So, off the top of my head, there was the camouflage jacket, which was a cool piece, but we want to make sure she's using it, and I think she still has too many jackets, but she has her different interpretations of jacket. She has currently 3 pairs of black shorts. I don't think you need 3 pairs of black shorts. She showed me that they're all different, and I totally understand. I still think that if, like,
it's redundant.
I think it's like two pairs. Like, I'm not gonna insist you have one, but like I feel like maybe in the next few months you might find one you might be willing to let go. Also, I pointed out that she had a lot of sweaters, like work sweaters, and like it just. Granted, that's all she was wearing to work, but we also like explored how there was more in her closet that she could potentially wear to work. But like, it's not necessary getting rid of like one of these work sweaters, but it could help. You know, this is all stuff that like could help. And then there was another jacket that I was like, you should get rid of this. But she was like, oh, I want to put patches on it, and it is a unique piece. And I was like, okay. So I challenged her to actually put the patches on it. As like, if she can put the patches on it like the next 3 months, then she can keep it. Otherwise, she should consider letting it go. Oh, and there was a mint green blazer, because she already has a dark green blazer, which I think both of those blazers aren't necessarily necessary.
So, with everything that Jill said, I guess this is gonna hold me accountable so that I can continue to really tighten my my style. And I think it's great. We'll see how far I get with this. And like Jill said, I might change my mind and decide I don't want a capsule wardrobe. But whatever. This is apparently the phase I'm going through now. So we'll see how long and how far I pursue this for. I feel like not a lot of people who have the opportunity to have a friend like you, Jill, in their life to go through their closet and help with your struggle pieces, especially if you're trying to minimize. So if you're a fellow wannabe minimalist and you're trying to purge your closet too, but don't really have anyone to kind of confide your struggles about this piece with, why don't you go ahead and leave a comment down below and describe what this piece is and make arguments for why you should keep it and why you don't love it, right? Give both sides, and then after you've done this, go and read the other comments and help a friend out. Thank you so much for chilling with us. I think we're gonna actually head to bed now for real. So, night.
Night.
Okay, perfect.